So hello there, welcome to another episode of Fact Fiend Focus, where if you watched last week's episode, what we're going to be doing with this is just focusing specifically on one piece of media or pop culture that I either really like or really don't like, and either praising it or shitting on it. And this week it's the turn of The Force Awakens, which me and Brad are going to spend the next 10 minutes or so shitting just all over. So Brad, you've watched The Force Awakens, I assume, yes?
Aye, of course I've watched The Force
And
Awakens.
what did you think when you first watched it?
Well, my first thoughts were, this is just A New Hope.
Yeah, and that's not really a very original observation. Everyone has said that it's a rehash of A New Hope, which makes sense. It's 30 years after the last good Star Wars movie got released. Of course we're not going to try and continue the story, we're just going to retell it. But what did you think of the film as a whole? Like, what would you have given it out of 10?
Well, I mean, obviously, we were coming into it from the backs of having seen the prequel trilogies.
Yes.
So, on my first viewing, I'd have gone like 8 or 9. It was I enjoyed the film, it was really good.
I was in the same boat, but since then, as I often do with movies, I turned on sarky asshole mode and decided to watch the movie again with a more critical eye. And there are a few problems I've noticed, and now I've realised this movie is fucking god-awful. And my main criticism revolves entirely around the characterisation of Finn,
Right.
who I originally liked as a character. I'm not sure what you thought about it.
I like Finn.
Yeah, like, what did you think when you first watched the movie?
When I first, it was interesting to see. Like, Star Wars has always been one of those universes that has a very heavy focus on black and white.
Yes.
Like, you're either good or you're bad.
Yeah.
So
To the point where the bad guys are literal space Nazis who wear black and white.
yeah,
Like in this movie, don't they do a double Nazi salute in this one?
yeah, pretty much.
They do a double Sieg Heil, so you know they're double Hitler.
So I thought it was fantastic for them to take a character who you would expect to be just evil. Purely, like, you've never given any personality to any
Yeah, like no
stormtrooper.
stormtrooper in Star Wars canon has ever been given so much as a line of dialogue that isn't supposed to, like, that you're supposed to give a shit about.
I just want to pay credit to the line that Ben Kenobi says when he goes, "These blasters are too accurate. They must be stormtroopers."
Yeah, and it's when you watch like the very first like scene in Star Wars that we ever got to see as an audience, like the one where the stormtroopers are storming the fucking rebel ship and they're firing in every possible direction but the rebels. The theory is that they weren't trying to kill anyone.
I have heard that.
They were doing it for intimidation, which I love because it just says, the theory is, like, George Lucas isn't a hack screenwriter, but we all know he is now. We've seen his best effort.
One of the theories I heard was that stormtroopers secretly hate being stormtroopers and were missing because they thought these guys would help end the Empire.
Yeah, which obviously didn't work, so the First Order immediately rocked. Basically, yeah, Finn is the first example, save for that, like, thing they added in a special edition, where we get to see a stormtrooper humanised as, like, a person. And I loved that idea, like, oh yeah, stormtroopers, they're not clones like in the Clone Army, they are conscripts from planets that, like the First Order and before, like, the Empire have conquered and dominated. I love the idea that, like, Finn is rebelling against that. But when I rewatch the films, that starts to come apart. Because what is it Finn says, if you remember? When Rey talks to him about him being a stormtrooper. What is his defence for being a stormtrooper? Like, being basically, like, an arm of, like, the First Order and crushing people under, like, the boot heel of this giant monolithic, like, evil militaristic entity.
Aren't they all meant to be like orphans who are plucked from childhood and trained to be killers?
Yes.
He's basically saying that they were all indoctrinated at such a young age that a lot of them don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah, they are basically just mindless mind slaves to, like, the First Order, to Snoke, to Kylo Ren, and that he's just one of the few ones who managed to resist that programming. What does Finn do about 20 minutes after that? When they get onto the Millennium Falcon and they're being chased by TIE fighters, being flown by, remember, stormtroopers, who Finn, earlier in the movie, informed us, the audience, are all indoctrinated children who are plucked from birth and, like, made to follow the First Order and have no choice, have no agency in the fact they are, like, performing the will of the First Order. What does he do to them?
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, he shoots them out of the sky. And the thing is, though, if he'd have shot them, that's fine, he's defending himself, but what does Finn do as he shoots these TIE fighters out of the air, which are full of people who, up to a week ago, were his comrade in arms? He cheers when he gets kill shots on them. And that's the first moment I went, hang on a second, you've tried to humanise stormtroopers, like, through Finn, which you did very well. You go, oh wow, I guess stormtroopers, they're not a faceless militaristic entity trying to, like, wipe out all life in the galaxy. They're just young children who were told to do the bidding of an evil guy who's a dickhead. Oh no, wait, is Finn just laughing about the fact he's blowing them out of the sky?
So you started this off by saying that you don't like The Force Awakens, but it can't just be Finn.
Thing is, though, it's mostly Finn. because, and I think it's mostly because they try to push Finn as one of the main protagonists of the movie, like the good guy, alongside Rey and Poe Dameron. But he's such a dickhead because later in the movie, like he meets up with, you know, the big dick OG that is Captain fucking Phasma. And what do you remember what he does to Captain Phasma?
Doesn't he threaten to put her in the garbage disposal?
Yeah, and what's going to happen to the space station that they're on? What's he trying to do?
Oh, they're trying to blow it up.
Yeah, they're trying to blow it up. So like, he's going to kill, what, millions of people on board?
Who are all indoctrinated people.
He says he used to clean the toilets, basically, isn't it? He says, oh, I used to clean the toilets in, like, Snoke's throne room, which means he must know that some stormtroopers on the base he is about to blow up are just like him and were working stiffs, working in the fucking offices.
There's got to be some people who don't agree with the...
No, there's got to be people there who don't even know, because they're working in the depths of this giant fucking planet-sized starship, just like mending the fucking bogs, like he used to, and he's happy. He doesn't even give a second thought to the idea, I'm going to obliterate all of them. And then, even though he knows everyone on that's going to die, he smiles about the fact he's going to feed Captain Phasma into a waste disposal, condemning her to a death, or she'll be slowly crushed by giant walls of steel. And then her remains going to be obliterated and sent into the star system. But they want to humanise the stormtroopers and then kill literally millions of them at once.
Stormtroopers were faceless. Like it's like the...
Well, that's why they wear the masks. Yeah. They wear the masks so you don't feel bad about them getting shot. There's a great theory in film where if you want to have an enemy people don't feel bad about being killed, make them faceless or just make them objectively terrible.
When you rewatch like Force Awakens now, are you cheering for TR-8R?
Yeah, Traitor is the fucking baddest motherfucker in the universe. And the thing that pisses me off about that is he's so cool and he only gets backstory in a book. Because they explain in a book he was on Finn's regiment. Yeah, they were friends and that's why he's pissed off about it. Because Finn basically like abandoned them to like go fight with the rebels. So again, remember, they've been indoctrinated to believe are the bad guys.
I never understood why they didn't just make that Phasma.
Yeah, that should have been Phasma. Because Captain Phasma is the Boba Fett of that universe, where she's supposed to be cool, but she never gets anything cool to do.
In that film, they'd already had a scene where Phasma confronted Finn, and she was the one who was saying, my guy's gone wrong.
It would have made more sense for her to step onto the battlefield and go, he's mine.
Yeah.
Because, and again, that's another thing that ruins the movie for me, because they don't give the coolest character in it. Captain Phasma, it's Gwendolyn Christie, isn't it? Yeah. Brienne of Tarth. Yeah. And she's in the fucking movie, and they had her... And they had her in the costume, and they don't let her do something cool. And they give it to a random fucking stormtrooper, and he's the coolest fucking guy, because he sees a lightsaber, a legendary weapon in the Star Wars universe.
It hasn't been seen in like 30 years.
It's like 30 years later, the Jedi are a myth.
Yeah, but
Did you forget about the time a Jedi defeated evil robot Hitler? More forgivable in this, but in 30 years in like A New Hope, the Jedi Council set all laws and have like a seat in the fucking Senate. Like you had Samuel L. Jackson running around with a purple lightsaber, like backflip lightsaber chopping everybody. Make it so the Jedi aren't so well respected because the Jedi are emotionless. I think celibate as well. They're not allowed to have kids, are they? It's the story of Equilibrium, where the leader in charge of if people don't watch Equilibrium, basically it's like everyone takes a drug that suppresses your emotions because emotions lead to all conflict. Yeah. Everyone's happy, but nobody has freedom. And you find out that the leader of the rebellion, who don't want to take this drug, takes the drug because he says, it's my, role as a leader to not be emotional, make emotional decisions, so I have to, take the sacrifice of taking this drug. The Jedi should have been that.
Let's get away from Finn.
I know, but he's emblematic of the problems with the film as a whole. But okay, yeah. Kylo Ren is probably the best part of the movie, to be fair. Force Awakens, it's not a bad movie, any stretch of imagination, it's just... There are problems with it that, when you view them, make you realise this wasn't very well written. Like the whole thing with trying to humanise stormtroopers while also killing millions of them, that sort of thing. But I think Kylo Ren is the one part of the movie I do like because he's just like a snotty, bratty asshole who's got daddy issues. Who's no granddaddy issues. He wants to be Darth Vader, and he doesn't know why he wants to be Darth Vader. To the point where he wears a mask that makes him sound more like Darth Vader, despite the fact Darth Vader needed it to live. And I love that idea because it's Tex from Superheroes did a bit about it, where it's like Kylo Ren messaging someone going, oh, why do you wear the mask? Oh, it's to be more like Darth Vader for intimidation. It's like, but Darth Vader needed it to live. And Kylo Ren's response is, but being dramatic is my life. Or some shit like that. And I like the fact that Kylo Ren is not a great Sith Lord. I like the idea. It's the thing where I wanted to see in the episode 3, Joe, where Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to see is Anakin getting used to being Darth Vader. I wanted to see him falling on his ass because he doesn't know how his legs work. And I think the only piece of fiction to ever explore that is Robot Chicken. It's Robot Chicken, yeah. When Darth Vader doesn't know what his suit does, and I love that idea because there's so much expanded universe content when it shows you Darth Vader not being able to use his robot body. Like, he falls down the stairs. He doesn't know how to walk. I think someone mistakes him for a droid in one comic, and he gets really pissed off about it. And I like the idea that they show Kylo Ren, he's not respected by the stormtroopers to the point where they just leave.
Well, have you seen Undercover Boss? With,
Adam Driver did it, didn't he?
Yeah.
I've heard he's got an 8-pack. And then smash cut to Last Jedi. He's got wise. He's got so...
We said beforehand we're going to avoid Last Jedi, Karl. We said beforehand.
Don't worry. Don't worry, there's an episode about Last Jedi coming, whether or not this series is a hit or not, because holy shit, that movie needs being taken down. But no, I feel like Last Jedi has given The Force Awakens a pass, because it's always thinking The Last Jedi is so polarising a film in terms of fan response to it that people kind of forget the shit that's in The Force Awakens, like the crap with the First Order, trying to humanise the First Order while Sam says they're killing them all. And then you have all the stuff why is this happening? Rey just so happens to find Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and it calls out to her. And then in Last Jedi they reveal that Rey has nothing to do with the Skywalker dynasty.
Yeah.
But they say, it's she's Force sensitive and finds Luke Skywalker. And but why did she find it of all people? When they show that anyone can be Force sensitive, like Anakin Skywalker was just jizzed into existence by the Emperor. Yeah, fun fact that Anakin was literally created by the Force by Darth Plagueis, or the Emperor, just jizzing Force energy into the universe.
I didn't think it was Plagueis. I think Sidious is Plagueis's...
Oh, sorry, yeah, Sidious, yeah. Just jizzing Force evil energy into the universe, and it made Anakin's mum pregnant with him.
No, I think Plagueis was the one who did Anakin. I think Sidious was his apprentice.
Either or, it's fucking stupid. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Don't explore that grey area unless you're willing to commit to it, which they're obviously not, because it's a multi-billion-dollar fucking franchise where they don't want to make, pieces where people think about them. They want to make action, spectacular blockbusters. And speaking of action, do you know what else is fucking unforgivable about The Force Awakens?
Is it Rey?
No, it's not Rey. But it's similar. It's the raid. When they meet Han Solo and the people who come up to argue Han Solo, where's our ship? Fun fact, that is 3 people from the raid, the greatest action movie of the 2010s, being backed up by the choreography team from the raid. And also, do you know who the Knights of Ren are played by? Those same fucking guys.
Really?
Yeah, because obviously they had them on set. So who should we get to play the Knights of Ren? Oh, how about the guys from the raid?
Waiting for third movie, I hope they do a full martial arts fight scene with the guys from the raid as the Knights of Ren against Rey and maybe Fiend. They imply he might be Force sensitive.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't dislike about the movie. It's why can't Rey beat Kylo Ren, a trained Sith Lord, in a sword fight with no training? Because Kylo Ren isn't very fucking good. I like the idea that Kylo Ren's not great. But because of his his lineage and the fact he's Darth Vader's grandson, Snoke picks him up anyway. I like the idea that Kylo Ren is actually shit.
I wish they'd leaned into that concept.
So do I.
That would have been really cool.
I'd love it if Snoke said you are the worst apprentice I could pick, but I picked you because you are Darth Vader's grandson and it's good optics.
Yeah.
I would see a meeting where Snoke is in with his fucking... he's doing a sit-down meeting with the SEO managers or whatever, fucking the First Order, going, okay, we've got this guy and he's super awesome, really good Sith, but no fucker knows who he is. We've got this guy, his grandfather, get this, Darth Vader.
Wait, the Darth Vader?
Yeah, fucking great optics there, get him on. Oh, he's shit and his lightsaber looks terrible. Also, he gets beaten by an untrained girl in his first ever fight scene.
I remember when they first revealed that lightsaber, and obviously everyone was because they described it as saying it had vents.
Yeah, I love that.
But if you slide your blade down his blade, you just slice it off.
Yeah.
It needed to have been in such a way where you could catch Like, because the crossguard is not... You can't use it. Apart from the fact when he pushes it into someone's flesh.
No, you can, yeah.
But
because obviously the inside of it is that thing, but the explanation is that he's got a broken kyber crystal, which is how how lightsabers work in the like Star Wars universe, and it's cracked, and it's supposed to represent that he's not fully trained because his lightsaber doesn't work.
Which would have been great for the angle of he's actually really shit.
Yeah, and if they'd explained that and leaned into it, it'd have been fantastic. But they instead make him so he's like, he gets beaten by dumb luck instead of the fact like a trained guy. A thing that I love as well, they don't explain it, but it's awesome, is that Kylo Ren, you see him in the fight, he's going, Do you know why that is? Yeah. Because the dark side is powered by negative feelings, so he's punching himself in his stab wound to make his pain feed his thing, and he still loses.
Alright, let's give credit though to the shot where he tries to summon Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah, she gets it first.
Flies past him.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
That's an amazing shot.
That's good. I like that.
That film does have a lot of cool, like really good moments.
Yeah, and that's why Fiend Focus is so good. It's not me just like openly saying a movie is objectively terrible.
You did start this by saying it was super shit.
Yeah, that's my northern hyperbole coming into effect. It's just
people never realise that in the comments, do they?
No, they don't. So thank you for yelling at me for saying
the people who've already had a go at you because it's like apparently a great film.
I just like the idea of drawing attention to stuff like that because it keeps people on their toes. And the way I've heard it put is like, no one thinks too much about something they don't like. And that's the reason I wanted to bring up The Force Awakens specifically, because it's a good movie, but it has problems. So I wanted, Fiend Focus to be like a middle ground where we can praise something while highlighting, things that don't make much sense or are kind of crap, or shitting on something while also, highlighting stuff we found was quite awesome. Because just because something's great doesn't mean it doesn't deserve criticism, just because it's terrible doesn't mean it doesn't deserve praise. Yeah,
something else we need feedback on as well is the previous video, the Warrior King one.
Yes.
I'd never seen the film, and I have seen this one. So the question is it more interesting for Karl to be having a conversation with me not knowing or knowing?
Yes, because usually Brad serves an audience surrogate, but is it better if Brad doesn't know what we're talking about, or if he has more knowledge on the subject like with Force Awakens? Also, do people like the format of one, because the plan is one video, it's something I like, and will praise, but highlight some inconsistencies, little things that annoy me. And then the next one will be something I dislike, but highlighting stuff that's cool, so obviously we've been fair to it. But I would like to apologise for the fact that this video is called Why the Force Awakens Sucks, or something of that ilk. That's what we've got to do to get views.
Yeah, this is how metrics
work. Yeah,
works.
Same with the previous video, it's like, why the Protector or the Warrior King is fucking awesome. We've got to do that for the views.
If you put Why the Force Awakens is bad, but in some ways good,
yeah,
no one's going to watch that video.